What would you say is your relationship with the following? Dr. Fred Matiang'i at the moment.
Well, I was not in Uhuru Kenyatta's cabinet when Matiang'i, I think, replaced Ruto, because Ruto became big-headed, okay, and Uhuru didn't know how to manage him, all right? He should have followed the example, perhaps, of what Ruto did, and I gave that example. So Fred Matiang'i was the de facto, the de facto deputy to Uhuru Kenyatta. I didn't interact with him much. So I'm getting to understand Fred Matiang'i, right? So I have interacted with Rigiji, and I can tell you that I've actually admired him.
Yep.
I admire him seriously because he has opened up to me when we meet. He opens up. His wife, Pastor Dorcas, and himself, you talk to them and you see these are people hurting. This is why Wiper Patriotic Front members of Parliament, when they were faced with this issue of demonization of Rigiji, the impeachment. I remember it was a member for Kitui Central who came up with the slogan, Kufa driver, Kufa Makanga. They said, if you're going to get rid of Rigiji, you, William Ruto, also out, so that we can have an opportunity as a country to elect other leaders who can work together.
Right.
And of course, subsequently, you have since had William Ruto say members of Parliament are corrupt and he's going to get them arrested. I'm yet to hear one person, one MP, able, after William Ruto and that meeting at KCB, Karen, saying you're going to get arrested because you're all corrupt people. And we're going to get you arrested. I mean, this is really amazing. Chest thumping,
right.
Pride. So for us, then, of course, you asked me about Gachagua.
Yes.
And
you have told me about Fred Matiang'i, about Rigathi Gachagua.
Yeah.
Martha Karua?
Mother, we are twins. If you talk to Mother, you say, my twin brother. We have come a long way. Remember, I had to literally bite the bullet and support Mother and Raila Odinga's ticket. Sometimes under great humiliation, but I went out. I was even taken through an interview. And remember, in 2013, I personally believe we defeated Jubilee ticket of Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto. In 2013, we went to the Supreme Court, all right? And we were told we are late in bringing some of the documents. I looked at Raila. He believed that we were going to get a second round. We lost, but I told him, we have lost, but we must be bound by the decision of the Supreme. I'm coming to that, Sam, because it's important, I think, for Kenyans to know where we have come from with Mother Karua, okay? And of course, in 2017, again, we ran, and in my view, we defeated the ticket of Jubilee. But Chief Justice Maraga and his team were able to say, hey, this one, not right. In 2022, it was expected that I was going to run. The understanding was clear between me and Raila Odinga that whether we won or lost in 2017, Raila Odinga was going to support my candidature in 2022. Instead of supporting my candidature, he went out, of course, to consulted with Uhuru Kenyatta and others, and they settled on Martha Karua after an interview, a very embarrassing interview. But we took it in his stride. I think leaders have to demonstrate sometimes resilience and patience, that even those who end up calling you names will get ashamed because they get called out. Now, can anybody today say Kalonzo Musyoka is indecisive, for example?
What would be the answer?
Of course, they now know who I am. The real Kalonzo Musyoka has come out. And this is it. And they're scared. They don't know how to handle him. It's too late. It's too late in the day.
Do you feel like
it has to, as of course the lawyers say, mundu komondo.
Do you feel like you're played in 2022?
Playing and betrayals and political things, those things happen. They happen to me. I'm not bitter.
Yep.
I'm not bitter at all.
What if that were to happen in 2027 with your colleagues?
If I get betrayed again, I will say I was betrayed. And I don't believe in betraying anybody. That is, for me, a basic thing. That is who I am. I like to hold my friends. I like to value them, see the good in the other person. build them up if you can. But I don't believe in doing dirty tricks. Maybe that's my weakness. I can't do dirty tricks. I believe that it is not what they say politics is a dirty game. No, we must sanitize it. Yep. In fact, if we are going to bequeath this country to the next generation, we have to set the example. That's why I'm so passionate about getting this thing right, getting this country back on its track, and then handing it over to the next generation.
Now, would you be a running mate in 2027? No,
I don't think so. Because, I'll tell you why. Some of my supporters, majority of them, yeah, that's why this administration is fixated with the dream that Kalonzo Musyoka will join Kenya Kwanza. Today they say it. I think that the bloggers are on full scale mandate to make it happen. But I tell them, please stop wasting your time. I just want to tell you, it is too late for any games to be played against me. And I know it and I feel it in my entire personality. I have sacrificed, but I can't sacrifice enough for this country. Okay, Sam, we have the higher ideal of getting this nation back on its feet. And if that be the case, I pray to God my colleagues will see it.
So it's either you're the candidate or not. Is that what you're saying?
No. I think that I will have to try and convince my colleagues.
Yeah.
And it's my right to do so. I'll have to try as much I can. Yeah? Because as you heard me say, it's either now or never. Okay?
Yeah.
And I think before, if the whole thing is who amongst us would take the ticket and ensure that William Ruto is one term. That is the issue. All of us are committed to that. And as I said, anybody trying to jump out of that arrangement will be seen as a traitor. Okay? And so, for me, therefore, I would be very surprised if they were to come and say, you know, now, after all this experience, right? And, you know, it comes with a heavy cost on your personality, on your image, and your ideals. And so I believe this is a time, Sam.
Okay, this is the time for you. Now, still, politics is about numbers.
Yes.
If you look at the political party that you lead, Wiper, your strength is largely from the Ukambani region.
Say southern region. By the way, I must remind you, that base is very big now.
I'm talking about
base. There's the mountain region, and there's is it southern part of the mountain? Oh yes, I mean that's a port base.
Okay, maybe it has grown, but I'm talking about the numbers in parliament, because as we speak,
in parliament. Okay.
As you speak, you have 26 members of parliament, including
and 3 governors.
Yes,
and so many senators.
Let me just finish.
And over 100 plus MCAs.
But when you look at those members of the National Assembly, majority of them, again, coming from the region of Ukambani, only 1 from Garissa, 1 from Nairobi, 5 Machakos, Kitui 7, 6 Makueni, 2 from Kisii, Taita Taveta 3. So you're looking at how many counties? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Some, when I was not even on the ballot. Please, take that into account.
Yeah.
That we are able to deliver those numbers when I was not even deputizing Raila Odinga. What does that tell you? Yeah.
There's a TIFA research that has come out
that
today.
Base, I don't know about
that. Yes, it came out today.
That
most political parties have lost the loyalty. When you're talking about UDA or is it ODM, Wiper has maintained, but it's still at 4%.
No, I disagree completely. Again, we're going to demystify some of these opinion polls. Some may be sponsored by Ruto himself. You remember he used to talk about, who was that opinion, that pollster that time, the Mzungu, right? We called them out. So watch that space after the Delegates Congress. So one thing which is clear, even the numbers saying that UDA has moved from 32 to 16, that is misleading. That party has lost out. You wait and see the hemorrhage The number of people wanting to join Wiper Patriotic Front now, even as we speak, is amazing. People are coming.
Yep.
And others going to DCP, right? And others going to DAP.
Yep.
Of course, we are looking at these by-elections very seriously, and we want to be able, of course, they are not an end in themselves, but we will fight.
Okay. Now, again, I mentioned to you that in 2021, 2022, you were busy building One Kenya Alliance. At the time, it was OKA. Then your brothers, Musalia Mudavadi and Moses Wetangula, left you. Right now, we've seen you're fielding candidates in different by-elections. There are reports that the DCP candidate in Banisa has left the race.
I think it is this thing about negotiated democracy up north. You remember somebody like Abdikadir, who was one of the, he's a senior colleague, he's a senior counsel.
Yeah.
And he was a man behind the making of Constitution 2010. But he had to be negotiated out. I think that we'll have to ask Wazee up north, wakubali pia democracy. I suspect that's what happened to the DCP candidate in Banisa.
Yeah.
But that does not deter us.
Yeah.
We know the ground is with us.
If such a thing were to happen in 2027, or even before, as you progress towards that election, and some of the members within the United Nations are swallowed, or they walk the journey of Kenya Kwanza or ODM or whatever that is, then what happens to ambition Kalonzo Musyoka?
Well, let me tell you, this ambition is at the moment a real situation. It is a movement. It is, again, riding strongly on the wave that Gen Zs have created in this country and in the region and the world. So, without belaboring the point, 25th of June last year remains a very historic day.
Yep.
And what happened then can never be reversed. And that is when, of course, my own members of parliament are there. I cannot say they were impeached, all right? But that is when credibility of National Assembly was heavily undermined, people fleeing through the tunnels. And on our part, we have said those young people cannot have died in vain. Now, let me tell you, in 2023, we have, for example, Evans Kiratu, Eric Shione, in 2023, those names. And I can tell you about Bridget Njoki. I attended the funeral of that little girl who was watching television in Kiambu, and then a stray bullet just took her out. And there are people, of course, like Albert Ojwang. We all know about Albert Ojwang, the excesses of this administration. We know about Boniface Kariuki. Again, I attended the funeral of this young man who was just shot. And look at the brutality of the police that time. That's why earlier on I said, I hope this Douglas Kanja can continue showing high emotion positively. And of course, we remember Rex Masai was the first one to fall. What am I telling you? That situation is what has driven William Ruto out of the leadership of this country. And as long as the united opposition stays together, right, I don't see any chance whatsoever for William Ruto. They will try to manufacture numbers. They will try to give the impression that they can buy people, 10,000 of them going to State House on a weekly basis. And by the way, a lot of Kenyans may know this, that as William Ruto entertains 10,000 teachers and so many other people in State House, there are state departments that have gone without paying their salaries to the public officers for 2 months. So ask yourself, what is happening? Where's the priority? I don't want to give you examples, but I can tell you, very important state departments. And they are talking about it. And of course, they're not paid and they're overtaxed. So the integrity of the payslip is an issue here. Any Kenyan, and there were about 8 million of them, who did not turn out to vote in 2022. Believe you me, this time, as Irigichi says, they wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning and go and queue. So, and add to that, the 6-7 million young Kenyans who are angry. And I want to urge them to put aside the anger or suspend it and have it really now come to light. By first of all, in 2 days' time, IBC will start registering voters. And we hope in the distribution of kits, there will be equity, that they are not going to try to disadvantage and by so doing disenfranchise young Kenyans or sections of this country. We expect therefore a total of about 6 to 8 million young Kenyans, additional to 8 million, who are actually still crying out against heavy taxation and all this kind of.
And you think this should believe in your vision?
Of course, of course.
So let's talk about it. Let's talk about your vision.
Yeah.
You mentioned that the leadership of William Ruto, the administration is talking about 5.5% growth of GDP. I don't know what an appreciation you have of the state of the economy in the country and what solutions you would be proposing. Do
you recall, Sam, I was actually a co-chair with Kimani Ichung'wah, right? Trying to deal with the 5 points that we identified.
Yep.
I was, of course, asked by Raila on behalf of Azimio to co-chair with Kimani Ichung'wah of Kenya Kwanza. The evidence and the presentations, the documents that were brought before us were heavy, important documents. But they said, don't touch on the matter of cost of living. That is our business. We are the government. And I recall, by the way, I recall that some of those sittings where somebody like Senator Omar, who used to be Secretary General of WIPA, now he's Secretary General of UDA, being very unkind to Baba, okay? And there was some altercation. Of course, I normally would not get involved in altercations.
The altercation was between you and him?
The issue, yes, because of abusing Baba, okay, that time.
Yeah.
You know, when I take some assignment, I do take it with a measure of commitment. Do you hear them talk about Vision 2030? They talk about bottom-up. And I remember my friend, my DVD, before he joined William Ruto, taking a bottle and putting it this way, saying this is bottom-up. That is what they're talking about, even at the level of the UN. You become a laughing stock.
That time he was opposing UDA.
Yeah. Then he, of course,
he's not.
Alinaswa. Alikuwa anasema nasa hawa.
He's actually one of the senior leaders in UDA.
Yeah. No, he got, I completely immersed.
But he
his ANC, I think, if I last checked, was completely kaput, swallowed up. One term is a reality. It's a condition that has to happen if our country is going to recover. So this is what we are basically saying. There are those who probably used to think unless maybe Raila Odinga is in the opposition, nothing happens. But I can tell you, as united opposition, we've been able to call out this administration. And where they don't hear, we go to court.
Right.
Where we tell them, for example, it is wrong to arrest young Kenyans and charge them under Prevention of Terrorism Act when they are just young Kenyans demonstrating in Kiambu, in Nairobi. And you take them to the, by the way, the anti-terrorism court is next to committing maximum prison so that you can instill maximum fear in them. We call out this government, this administration, and I can tell you their days, according to the united opposition, are truly numbered, and we do not mean ill for William Ruto or anybody. All we are saying, the country has been mismanaged. You have shown extreme arrogance, ability to mismanage. You preside over cartels that are stealing from your own people. You overtax your own people and then get people to steal from them. We are calling out this government.
So what is the structure there? Who is your leader?
Well, we are all the same. Of course, one would wish that it can be first among equals. We are not into that stage yet. Right now, we are beginning, we're actually in the process of studying each other. Gelling, you saw the other day, we had 1 or 2 days retreat and getting to understand each other. We have, of course, teams working very hard behind us with our instructions. We hope to be able to come up with a new coalition name. As soon as that happens, we'll let the country know. But I can tell you one thing. We are so determined, and the country is so determined to get itself liberated, that any of us who will give mixed signals about the need to have a united opposition, because everybody knows when we remain united like this, William Ruto is absolutely one term. And as I said, no ill will meant. It's just a reality. It has happened in neighboring countries, like in Botswana, a friend of mine called Boko Ndumu had to get Masisi do only one term. By the way, his organization is Umbrella for Democratic Change. and that is my party's symbol, the umbrella. And, it has happened now, of course, with Lazarus Chakwera, and I must congratulate him and the people of Malawi, even as we congratulate Peter Mutharika, the president-elect now, for showing maturity.
Right.
Lazarus Chakwera has actually come out and accepted that he has lost. And he actually called the event historic. He would be mourning and saying, what is all this? But he said, this is historic. He has accepted it. And I think those who know a bit about Lazarus Chakwera will know he actually grew up, had a lot of work in Buruburu and places. There's a lot of Kenyanness in him. And of course, people elsewhere, in Nigeria, they've had one term. My friend Goodluck Jonathan did only one term before Buhari took him out. And even before Nana was eventually, his vice president lost recently to Mahama. Mahama had himself had been defeated by Nana. So these things are there. But the important things like what happened in Botswana, the low productivity, that country's economy depends on the minerals, particularly the diamonds, refined diamonds. When the prices went low and the economy became difficult, partly because of also the local political situation, very much like what was happening between William Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta. When William Ruto didn't want to see he didn't want to see Uhuru Kenyatta after he said, and you remember what he said? He would never want to see a deputy mistreated like he was mistreated under Uhuru Kenyatta. Now, what happened to him with Gachagua?
Yep.
So they say history repeats itself. But I was going to tell you something. The whole thing is economy stupid. As very famous American President Bill Clinton once said, it's the economy stupid. And so the high cost of living.
No. Before we get to that,
yes.
I'm still trying to understand the united opposition.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm asking this question is because do you have timelines? You're saying you're working, you're understanding each other, working on a coalition name. Do you have any timelines?
Well, you see, sometimes it's good to have it organic.
Yeah.
So people develop naturally, they trust each other naturally. If there are issues that you need to streamline, you do. Sometimes you can have a cup of coffee separately, say with Fred Matiang'i or with Gachagua. We're trying to do that kind of thing so that we are the same. And so, but I must make it clear that if I'm listening to the country, they're saying if any of us gives mixed signals about the unity of purpose, then this country will never forgive them.
Okay.
So this time around, we hope people will stay the course. Some of us have done that before, by the way. I've stayed the course.
Staying the course.
At tremendous cost.
Staying the course you may.
Yeah.
But Rigathi Gachagua has already said he is a front-runner candidate. Dr. Fred Matiang'i says he's going for the presidency. We haven't heard from you.
Oh, I think I made it very clear, very, very clear. The country is expecting that we will make William Ruto absolutely one term if my colleagues give him the big honor to lead the team. So it is obvious. It's obvious. We have made it clear. By the way, Wiper Patriotic Front has rebranded. It used to be Wiper Democratic Movement. And in order to take into account the fighting spirit of our young Kenyans, we wanted now to change the name to Patriotic Front.
Yep.
And we will be having our Delegates Congress on the 10th of next month.
Yep.
I hope then, if I do not get any opposition, I hope that my candidature will be established by my own party before I talk to other colleagues.
But you as a person, are you going for the presidency or not?
Of course I am. I mean, honestly, this matters, Sam. What do you think?
No, it's not what
do you
I
think?
I mean,
it's obvious.
Your colleagues
it is now, in my view, by the way, in my view, it is now or never. It's as simple as that. If I don't go for it now, I'll never go for it. But if I go for it now, and my colleagues give me the flagship, believe you me, I will not disappoint. Because we know this country, we know the game. We know who the opposition is. Kenya should not get into that unfortunate belief that it is difficult to remove a sitting president. I've just demonstrated by a few examples how easy. And if it was difficult for Chakwera to lose to Bingu Mutharika. Can you imagine William Ruto, with all the atrocities this administration has committed? Kenyans cannot even wait for the 11th, I think, it will be of August 2027. They wish it was next year.
What if, because Rigathi Gachagua said that he's a front runner.
Oh, yes.
He's so sure of getting the ticket. What if you're
Well, I don't know. You know, it's okay. Yeah. It's okay, because I can tell you that's what democracy is. Yeah, let everybody come out. Yeah? But at the end of the day, I can tell you it will be a negotiated position. We'll all negotiate, look at each other in the face. And I think the parameters will be established. For example, record of service, record if you have any scams or whatever, they will be brought out. If you have no scams, and people also stand up there and say yes. Because I believe personally that the kind of sacrifice we have made, even under Mzee Kibaki, when the country was burning, literally. And please, I must remind us that under Mzee Kibaki and myself, and later joined by Raila Odinga, the GDP growth of this country hit 7%. We were heading to double digit. Now, William Ruto's administration are priding themselves in saying, oh, the economy is grown by 5.5%, and they think that is reason to get re-elected. Please, my friend, look at this. A nation in crisis. A nation in crisis. We shouldn't be here 60 so many years after independence. So I look at this national transformation agenda of, this is from the executive office of the president. You simply have to, because they are now to justify 3 years of William Ruto's maladministration.